There comes a moment in every soul's life when the heart breaks in a way that seems impossible to repair. It's when that love you nurtured, cared for, and offered with all the purity of your being simply doesn't return. It's when you realize that your prayers, your efforts, and your dedication weren't enough to make someone choose to stay. And it's exactly in this moment of deepest pain that the angels begin to work most intensely in your life. Archangel Gabriel wants you to know something fundamental. Not every love that doesn't return is a failure. In fact, it's often the opposite. There's a divine purpose behind every heart that walks away, behind every no you received, behind every door that closed when you needed it most to remain open. You may not be able to see it now, but your pain is serving a much greater plan than you imagine. What I'm about to reveal to you next could completely change how you view this situation. Gabriel showed me that there's a difference between love that comes to stay and love that comes to awaken. Love that comes to stay is the one that aligns with your destiny, that walks in the same direction your soul chose before incarnating. But love that comes to awaken, that has a different mission, equally sacred, but temporary. This love that didn't return came to open spaces within you that were closed. It came to break down walls you didn't even know existed. It came to teach you about your own capacity to love, to surrender, to be vulnerable. And mainly it came to show you aspects of yourself that could only be revealed through the experience of loss. Have you ever noticed that certain coincidences in your life aren't mere coincidences? That person appeared at the exact moment you needed to learn something specific about yourself. They awakened feelings in you that were dormant, showed you qualities you didn't know you possessed, and then they left. Not because they didn't love you, but because their mission was complete. The angels want you to understand that this pain you feel isn't punishment. It's expansion. Your soul is growing in a way that would only be possible through this experience. If you love your life, like this video and subscribe to the channel, because this message is about to transform your entire perspective on love and loss. Before continuing the message, write in the comments this mantra: "My pain is sacred and is transforming me into who I need to be." Now, continuing the message. Gabriel revealed to me that many souls choose, before incarnating, to go through the experience of unrequited love, because they know that through it, they'll develop their true inner strength. It's as if your soul knew you needed this awakening to become the person you're destined to be. And this person you're becoming is incompatible with that love that's gone. Think for a moment. Are you the same person you were before this experience? Of course not. You've developed an emotional depth you didn't have before. Your capacity for empathy has expanded. Your understanding of love has become more mature. Your inner strength has been tested and approved. All of this happened because you loved someone who couldn't reciprocate in the same way. But that's not all. There's something even deeper happening. Gabriel showed me that when love doesn't return, it creates an empty space in your heart that needs to be filled in a different way. This emptiness isn't meant to be filled immediately by another romantic love. It's meant to be filled first by self-love, by connection with the divine, by discovering who you really are when you're not trying to mold yourself to fit into someone else's life. This loneliness you feel isn't abandonment. It's a sacred retreat that your soul orchestrated for you. It's a time of reconstruction, of rediscovery, of deep healing. It's a moment when you can finally hear your own soul's voice without the distractions of trying to please or win someone over. The angels are whispering to you now. You didn't lose love. You found yourself. And finding yourself is always the first step to finding the love that truly belongs to your story. That love that didn't return was a teacher disguised as a companion. And now that the lesson has been learned, you're ready for something much greater. There's something very important you need to know. Your pain has an expiration date. It won't last forever. It's here to teach you, to strengthen you, to prepare you. And when the lesson is complete, when you've integrated everything you needed to learn, it will transform into gratitude. Gratitude for the experience. Gratitude for the strength you discovered you have. Gratitude for the incredible person you've become. Angelic wisdom reveals that there's a divine pattern in every heart that walks away from us. When Gabriel showed me the Akashic records of human relationships, I could clearly see that there's no chance in romantic encounters and separations. Every person who enters our life carries a specific key, and when that key fulfills its function of opening certain doors in our soul, it naturally withdraws. You need to understand that the person who didn't reciprocate your love isn't cruel or insensitive. In fact, on a very deep spiritual level, they're fulfilling a sacred agreement that you both made before incarnating. Yes, you chose to live this experience together, but not in the way your human mind imagined it would be. This revelation may seem difficult to accept at first, but it carries immense liberation within it. It means you didn't fail. It means there's nothing wrong with you. It means the love you offered was perfect exactly as it was, and the response you received was also perfect for your soul's growth. Archangel Gabriel wants you to know that there's a difference between rejection and divine redirection. When someone doesn't reciprocate your love, it's not because you're not worthy of being loved. It's because that specific love isn't part of your spiritual evolution path. It's like you were trying to force a key into a lock that wasn't made for it. It's not that the key is defective. It's simply not the right lock. In the higher planes, angels are constantly working to align you with the experiences your soul most needs to grow. Sometimes this means connecting you with someone who will love you deeply. Other times, it means connecting you with someone who will teach you about detachment, about unconditional love, about inner strength. Now, before we continue this message, write in the comments 4444 to claim it. This angelic number represents the presence of angels in your life during this transformation process. I want you to reflect on something. Since this love didn't return, how many discoveries have you made about yourself? How many dormant abilities have awakened? How many limiting beliefs have been broken? How many times have you surprised yourself with your own capacity to resist, to get up, to continue? The pain of unrequited love is one of the most transformative experiences a soul can have. It breaks illusions about how love should be and teaches you how love really is. True love doesn't require reciprocity to exist. It simply is. And when you learn to love this way, you become a pure channel of divine love. Gabriel revealed to me that many people who go through the experience of unrequited love develop a special capacity to love unconditionally. They learn to love without expecting anything in return, to love without trying to control, to love without fear of loss. This is a quality that few souls can develop, and it's exactly this quality that prepares them for much deeper and more meaningful relationships in the future. You're being prepared for something greater. While you suffer from that person's absence, angels are working behind the scenes to align you with someone who will not only reciprocate your love, but will elevate it to levels you never imagined possible. But before that happens, you need to complete this transformation process. You need to integrate the lessons, heal the wounds, strengthen your self-esteem, reconnect with your divine essence. You need to learn to love yourself as much as you love that person who's gone. If this message is resonating with you and touching your heart in a special way, know that your support through the thanks button helps us continue bringing these messages of light and hope to all souls who need to hear these words. Every gesture of kindness allows us to reach more hearts going through experiences similar to yours. And if you desire true love, type "I love myself" in the comments. The angels want you to understand that your capacity to love didn't diminish because it wasn't reciprocated. In fact, it expanded. You now know what it means to truly love, without conditions, without guarantees, without contracts. This is a divine gift that few possess. There's a spiritual law that says, the love you give always returns, but not always from the same source. This means all the love you offered to that person didn't get lost in the universe. It's coming back to you multiplied, but through different channels. It could be through new friends, professional opportunities, meaningful experiences, spiritual growth, and yes, also through a new love that will be much more aligned with who you've become. What you're living now isn't the end of your love story. It's the end of a chapter that needed to be written so the next one could begin. And the next chapter will be even more beautiful, because you'll have all the wisdom and emotional maturity you've acquired through this experience. Gabriel whispers in your ear, your pain is temporary, but your transformation is eternal. Trust the process. Trust divine timing. Trust the wisdom of your heart that chose to live this experience to become a fuller version of yourself. The silence that followed your unrequited love isn't empty. It's a sacred space where angels are working intensively to rebuild the foundations of your soul. Gabriel showed me that there's a profound difference between being alone and being in sacred solitude. You weren't abandoned by the universe. You were placed in a personalized spiritual retreat. In this moment, while you feel that person's absence, Angels are removing layers of old conditioning that prevented you from recognizing your true worth. They're dissolving patterns of emotional dependency you didn't even know you carried. They're strengthening your connection with the divine source of love that exists within you. Have you noticed how certain songs, places, or memories still awaken a deep nostalgia? This isn't a sign that you're not progressing. It's a sign that you loved truly, and true love leaves eternal marks on the soul. But these marks aren't scars. They're reminders of your power to love unconditionally. Archangel Gabriel wants you to understand something fundamental. The love you feel for that person doesn't need to disappear for you to be happy. It needs to transform. It needs to elevate from the dimension of possession to the dimension of gratitude. It needs to evolve from attachment to celebration of the experience lived. There's a secret prayer that angels make for every soul going through this experience. May this heart learn to love without losing itself. May this soul discover it can be complete without being completed by another. May this person understand that true love is a choice, not a necessity. Your soul is learning the difference between love and attachment. Love is when you wish well for the person regardless of whether they're in your life. Attachment is when you need the person to be in your life to feel good. Love liberates, attachment imprisons. Love elevates, attachment diminishes. Love is divine, attachment is human. Before continuing the message, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, take advantage and subscribe. This helps us continue creating meaningful content for you. Continuing the message, angels are preparing you to recognize a completely different type of love. A love that won't need to be conquered, but will manifest naturally. A love that won't generate anxiety, but peace. A love that won't demand you transform into someone different, but will celebrate exactly who you are. But for this love to reach you, there's inner work that needs to be done. You need to learn to relate to yourself the way you'd like someone to relate to you. You need to treat yourself with the kindness you expected to receive. You need to value yourself the way you'd like to be valued. Gabriel revealed to me that many people get stuck in relationships that don't work because they're afraid of being alone. But you're learning something much deeper, that being alone can be a state of fullness, not lack, that you can be your own favorite company, that you can find in yourself the peace you were looking for in another. This isn't an easy lesson, but it's a liberating one. When you truly integrate this understanding, when you really learn to love and value yourself, something magical happens. You stop attracting people who need to be conquered and start attracting people who naturally recognize your worth. The pattern is changing. You're leaving the energy of lack and entering the energy of abundance. You're ceasing to be someone who needs love to become someone who overflows with love. You're transforming from a person looking for their other half to a person who is a complete whole. Angels want you to know there's a specific moment when this transformation completes. It's when you can think of that person who didn't reciprocate your love, and instead of feeling pain, feel gratitude. Gratitude for them appearing in your life. Gratitude for awakening in you the capacity to love deeply. Gratitude for teaching you about your own strength. When you reach this point, you'll realize you never lost anything. You'll realize you gained everything. You gained self-knowledge. You gained emotional maturity. You gained inner strength. You gained wisdom. You gained the ability to love without losing yourself, to surrender without nullifying yourself, to be vulnerable without becoming dependent. There's a divine synchronicity happening in your life now. Pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the opportunities that are arising. Pay attention to the new people who are appearing. Pay attention to the insights that are reaching you. All of this is part of the divine plan to align you with your true destiny. Gabriel whispers, the love that didn't return was a gift disguised as loss. It came to free you from an illusion and connect you with the reality of your power. You're not a victim of circumstances. You're a co-creator of your experience. And your soul chose to live this to become stronger, wiser, more loving. What you're feeling now, this mixture of pain and hope, sadness and growth, ending and beginning, is what angels call soul growth pains. Just as a child feels pain when growing physically, your soul feels pain when growing spiritually. But this pain is sacred. It's transformative. It's necessary. We've reached the most sacred moment of this message, where the veils open and you can finally see the complete truth about what happened in your life. Archangel Gabriel showed me that there's a divine moment when all pain transforms into purpose, all confusion transforms into clarity, and all loss reveals itself as gain. You're in this moment now, Everything you lived, everything you felt, everything you learned was preparing you for this revelation. You didn't lose the love of your life. You found the most powerful version of yourself. That person who didn't reciprocate your love was a divine catalyst sent to awaken the strength that always existed within you, but was dormant. Angels want you to understand that there's a difference between the love you thought you wanted and the love your soul really needs. The love you thought you wanted was based on need, on lack, on fear of loneliness. The love your soul really needs is based on fullness, on conscious choice, on mutual celebration. When you loved that person who didn't reciprocate, you were operating from an old belief system. You believed you needed to be reciprocated to be valuable. You believed you needed to be chosen to be enough. You believed you needed to be loved to be able to love yourself. But angels were working to break these limiting beliefs and show you a much greater truth. The truth is that you're already complete. You're already enough. You're already worthy of love simply for existing. The love you were seeking outside yourself was always within you, waiting to be discovered. And it took this experience of not being reciprocated for you to finally look within and find this inexhaustible source of self-love. Gabriel revealed to me that there's a very specific divine plan for every soul going through this experience. First, you need to break to rebuild yourself stronger. Then, you need to lose yourself to find yourself more authentic. Next, you need to empty yourself to fill yourself with something much greater. And finally, you need to learn to be alone to be able to relate in a healthy way. You've completed all these stages. You broke and rebuilt yourself. You lost yourself and found yourself. You emptied yourself and filled yourself. You learned to be alone, and now you're ready to relate in a completely new way. What's coming into your life now isn't just a new relationship. It's a new relationship pattern. It's a love that won't be based on need, but on choice. It's a love that won't be based on fear, but on trust. It's a love that won't be based on lack, but on abundance. This person coming into your life won't need to be conquered because they'll naturally recognize your worth. Won't need to be convinced because they'll choose you for who you are. Won't need to be pursued because they'll walk beside you by their own will. But there's something even more beautiful happening. You're not just preparing to receive this love. You're preparing to offer a type of love that few people can give. A mature, conscious, unconditional love. A love that doesn't demand, but offers. A love that doesn't control, but liberates. A love that doesn't possess, but celebrates. Angels are whispering a prophecy about your life. The love you lost was small compared to the love you're going to live. The pain you felt was temporary compared to the joy you're going to experience. The person who left was a rehearsal compared to the protagonist who's coming. You've developed a special ability to see beyond the masks people wear. You've learned to identify genuine love from self-interested love. You've gained the ability to recognize who truly deserves your precious heart. These are qualities that only develop through experience, and you paid the price to acquire them. Your intuition is sharper now. Your perception is more refined. Your discernment capacity is more developed. You won't let yourself be carried away by illusions or fantasies anymore. You'll recognize true love when it arrives, because you've learned the difference between love and attachment, between passion and genuine connection. Archangel Gabriel wants you to know that everything you lived was necessary to prepare you for what's coming. Every tear you shed watered the soil of your soul so something new could grow. Every sleepless night was a sacred vigil where angels worked on your healing. Every moment of pain was a moment of transformation. You're emerging from this experience as a completely renewed person. Stronger, wiser, more loving, more conscious. You're no longer the same person who entered this situation. You've evolved, grown, expanded. And it's exactly this new version of you that will attract and deserve the love that truly belongs to your story. Angels want you to know that your love story didn't end with that person who left. It just began. You now know what it means to truly love, and that's a gift that will transform all your future relationships. You'll love better, more deeply, more consciously. Trust divine timing. Trust the process. Trust the wisdom of your heart. Trust angelic guidance. Trust that everything you lived had a greater purpose. And that purpose is revealing itself now in the form of a new opportunity for love, growth, happiness. Your pain was sacred. Your transformation was necessary. Your growth was divine. And now, you're ready to live the love story your soul always dreamed of, but would only be possible after you became the person you became through this experience. If this message resonated with you and your situation, write in the comments, "I am ready for true love." Share your experiences in the comments. If you loved this video, like it and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.